Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wednesday Witterer with George Shaft, hosted by me, George Shaft. But also joining me in the studio today is Dominic Anglim.
Hello, hello, hello.
We're going to have a super exciting show for you today, going on a great big deep dive on what is fandoms and what are fans and how do they impact the world and what are their experiences. After we give you, of course, a little bit of teaser and give you, among other things, a tribute and a memorial to Flash games and Flash, the software that's just about to, kind of end in 2020 despite having defined my childhood. I'll catch you all again very, very soon, only on the Wednesday Witterer.
Online, on the iOS and Android, on your mobile phones. Great speakers conversation around the globe. This is Relaks Radio.
It's time for a show on Relaks Radio. It talks about me and you. It's time for a show on Relaks Radio. It talks about me and you. So listen to us, 24 hours, and let the happiness come to you on Relaks Radio. Tune in to Relaks Radio.
Relaks Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday Witterer with George Shaft, hosted by George Shaft, and joined today in the studio by Dominic Anglim.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me, George.
Yeah, no problem. I quite like the idea of not being sort of alone in the studio in perpetuity. So it's good to sometimes get someone to help me out.
It is good. It is good. Doing the show by yourself is always it's always challenging. It has to be said.
Yeah, almost as challenging as some of those Flash games I used to play as a kid.
Oh, the Flash games. The Flash games will be gone soon. It will be a different world.
Yes, this is the big news I want to sort of talk about. Not because it's like urgent, but because it's going to happen. Don't worry, the deep dive on fandom will be coming later. But first, as we've teased, Flash games.
Flash games, and of course, it's not like they didn't give us some warning.
It isn't, yeah. So for those who don't know, time for the laptop of all wisdom and knowledge to open up. Which is, by the way, one of those little things. Like, we literally have like the portals to all wisdom on here, and then we use it to like do memes and games.
The internet.
So the great internet, of course, first port of call for any information is Wikipedia. And Wikipedia has this to say about Adobe Flash, first thing. So Adobe Flash is a multimedia software platform used for the production of animations, rich web applications, and desktop applications, as well as mobile apps, mobile games, and embedded web browser video players. It was rolled out actually quite a while ago, if I remember correctly, like 2005.
Yeah, it's been out for probably close on 15 years.
No, 1995 for
1995. Wow.
For its predecessor, which was called Future Wave, whereas Adobe Flash itself was almost bang on for 2005.
Yeah,
which it's a long-running project. I'll put it like that, mildly.
Yeah, definitely. But of course, I suppose it kind of makes sense that it is going to come to an end because a lot of the web browsers now, they have such built-in software that they don't need that.
Oh yeah, and
it's become a little bit obsolete.
It really has. I've pulled out an article by How to Geek, and it describes in depth here. It's like, I won't sort of quote from it at the moment, but like it describes in depth that basically it's like, we've got better software now out there, like as HTML5, WebGL, WebAssembly,
exactly,
which all basically do the same kind of thing.
Yeah, they did the same kind of thing, and that's what happens. Like over time, technology becomes more advanced, and Adobe Flash, like, it was great. It got us there.
Oh, yeah.
We would be nowhere without it in a way.
Yeah, it's a bit like you. In many ways, so when you mention it like that, I almost think of it a bit like a pier. When like you're no longer on. No, you want to go to the boat.
Yeah.
but you've got to go on the pier to go on the boat first.
You got to go on the pier and get
Or-
to the boat. If you don't, you're just going to be standing in the air, and then you're just going to fall into the sea.
Yeah, and then your feet will get wet.
Yeah,
not-
and you might be swimming with the fishes.
I mean, yes, which would also be fairly accurate for this. If
It would be
we
accurate.
didn't have sort of the software to keep the games going, then how would we play the games?
Exactly. If you don't have the software, you can't play the games. So that's why it's been so essential.
This is something that's like, for me, is such a sort of a big kind of hit in, like, if you will, my kind of history.
Yeah,
But
you grew up on Flash games, right?
Yes, I did. I remember actually, even in like first grade, like playing some of the Flash games, and I've been sort of doing my little like nostalgia binges, and realizing really for the first time sort of these past couple of months that like I wasn't alone in that. For example, I saw this one video that I remember playing in like 2005 that was called Heli Attack 3,
Yeah.
where basically like you're a little commando and there's just like endless waves of helicopters, which you somehow was taking out with a pistol. And it was pretty fun. It's like for 10-year-old me.
Who doesn't want to shoot down a helicopter with a pistol?
I mean, I wouldn't. It sounds like a pretty daunting challenge, but
I mean, in real life, I guess, yeah, it would be pretty daunting and probably pretty impossible. But in the video game world,
it was a lot of fun. And the sort of like power of that and the grip it's had over a generation shouldn't be really sort of underestimated. Did you play many of these games when you were growing up?
I'm curious to know now. This is probably going to sound kind of silly, but my knowledge of video games is quite old. I mean, because I am quite old, but I mean, I grew up playing video games on a 486.
Oh dang!
Yeah, we had a 486, and then we had a Gateway 2000, which was like would have been around 1996. 1997, that kind of time.
Yeah, there would have been browser games around at that time. As we mentioned earlier, there were precursors. The first precursor to Flash was, in fact, in 1995.
Yeah,
Future Wave.
I'm curious. I mean, I don't know, but we used to play stuff like Bomberman. We used to play like Motor Racer. These were the games that we played.
I remember
when I was a teenager.
I vaguely remember Bomberman.
Bomberman was a brilliant game. It was a very, very fun game, and it was on the PC. And yeah, it was Bomberman, Motor Racer. These were the PC games that we had in our house anyway. And my question to you, George, is, and you can just correct me if I'm wrong. I'm curious to know, like, when you think about like game consoles, like Sega Mega Drive or the Sega Master System, would they have been using a form of a Flash player?
Probably not, actually.
Okay.
Like the main thing with Flash, and the reason why they were kind of very sort of this undercurrent that nobody really talked about, was because they were mostly sort of available just like online for free.
Okay.
There are loads of sort of dedicated websites to them, and you'd go to them. Names that people will sort of immediately recognize, like Concrete.com, Newgrounds, Armor Games, Nitro, Bubblebox. Mini Clip is like the dominant name, that because it was one of the first ones that like people recognized. Like, oh yeah, Mini Clip.
Yeah.
And so in many ways, it was almost like a bit like the opposite problem, because like I didn't grow up with a console.
My
mother was very against it.
Yeah.
And so it was Flash games kind of filled in that little kind of void, because like she couldn't stop me going on the computer, and on the computer she couldn't stop me, finding these websites and
finding the games, finding the Flash games.
Yeah, finding the Flash games on them.
Well, I think it's great that you did find the games on there. Yeah, I did grow up with a game console. I got a Sega Master System when I was probably about, I want to say 15, 16. I remember I wanted to get a Mega Drive, and I was given a Master System for Christmas. And I remember being disappointed with that. But
you're disappointed?
When I look back, I feel like, why was I so ungrateful? I got a Master System. I could play Sonic the Hedgehog. That was fun.
Yeah, the first
Prince of Persia.
Yeah, the first console that we got in my family was if I remember correctly, was a PS3 in 2008 or 9.
Wow, the PS3.
Was Was it PS3?
I
Or
don't know.
PS...
It could have been. Could have been.
No. It might have been. No, I think it was PS4 actually.
Wow.
No, yeah, it was PS4 because it was all new at the time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, the brand new console. Was it the PS4?
PS4. Yeah.
And it was like, oh, was it? I've now completely forgotten which console it was.
I can't remember. I can't say that it would have been a 4. I feel like a 4. I feel like a 4
I'm
was
just-
that kind of around.
Look, I'm gonna do.
time.
I'm just gonna do a really, really cheeky
I
thing.
feel like a 2. A 2 was around 2005. I've got in my head.
Let's do the really cheeky thing. It was a PS3.
A PS3. There we go.
Yeah, there's. I've pulled up. I've done the cheeky little sneaky thing where I've pulled out like the laptop and made it summon pictures of PS3s, and it is showing pictures that look a lot like the console that I remember from. Well, it would have been like mid teenage years. That's the thing.
The internet has come to the rescue again,
It always does, except when it suddenly doesn't.
except when it crashes and doesn't work when you can't get it to connect.
Reference to Dominic's show, apparently from earlier.
It's not a
Listen to-
reference.
Listen to Dominic's show on relaksradio.com.
I don't know why that's a reference to my show, but I don't know. But hey, I'll take it. I'll take it.
I just got like some behind the scenes knowledge of like things are a bit ropey on like behind the scenes in terms of like the software.
Yeah, we did have some technical issues in my show. It's true.
And
But,
so, you know, I'm just putting out the little tribute like, hey,
Hey, I appreciate
give
it,
Dominic
George.
some love. He worked very hard to go through those technical difficulties.
I kept a smiling face on throughout, and I was just like, everything is completely normal here.
Unfortunately, that will not be the same after December 2020.
Because
When-
there'll be no more Flash.
But Adobe, which is the company that sort of develops and has held the thing for the Flash software, has it's had difficulties with Flash over the past couple of years. They've had a handful of sort of like big sort of security breaches because, you know, it's old software. And contrary to what the movies tell you, old software is easier to hack than new software.
And by the way, folks, this has got nothing to do with Flash, savior of the universe, because it was a savior of the universe for a long time. But it is not connected with the Flash TV show.
No, that's unlocked some sort of deep memories for me, that one, because and there's a reason why. It's very, very sort of big tangent, which is that basically when I was growing up at one point in school,
Yeah.
you know, some of the other kids, you know, decided they quite liked me and made a little theme song that was Shaft, oh, Savior of the Universe.
That's brilliant.
And I thought like, oh, it was from the movie Shaft. But then I looked up like we saw like the theme song and I was like, oh, it's really different. Oh, they must have made it up themselves.
Yeah.
Now he suddenly just told me. It's like, that was the other half.
Brilliant. That's a great song to have about you.
Oh, I loved it to pieces. It was great.
That's really good. That's really, really good. Yeah, I don't know if it's connected with Flash Gordon. I'm not sure if that's connected, but it might be.
I do not think it was.
I do not think
That's-
it was either.
We can check. You know, here's something I so focused on, like, oh, Flash games, that I didn't think like, oh, what about all the other things that are called Flash?
Yeah, that's what popped into my head when you said we're going to be talking about Flash. When we're going to be talking about Adobe Flash, I immediately thought of Flash Gordon. I immediately thought of Flash, Savior of the Universe, which I think is Flash Gordon. I think it's the song was based on that. I think. I could be wrong.
But you could also be right.
I might be right. Wikipedia will tell us the answers. The internet will save us again.
Well, Wikipedia is just telling us about like the comics, and there were sort of like some little films and TV shows.
But
I wouldn't be surprised if there was sort of some games that came with it.
but listen, news flash, okay?
Eh,
If there are games that go with it, we will find them.
you know, everything Nitro made, the Henry Stickmin series,
Yep.
which just got like its big final release in the summer.
Yeah.
The perfect send off for the Don't worry though. There's actually lots
Iconic.
of sort of emergency efforts being scrambled to sort of recreate the Flash software, so you can always,
To put it on your thinking caps and come up with an open source
that you need like your thinking caps talk,
exactly.
Relax Radio. আপনি হয়তোবা জানেন না যে রেডিও অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্ট is 4 times more powerful than any other.
It's time for a show on Relax Radio. It talks about me and you. Yeah, chose. Let the happiness come to you. Relax Radio. Tune in to Relax Radio.
It has been too long. No one has taken the initiative to know who you are and what you do. Well, Relax proudly presents Relax Media to unite and expose all media-related analysis. If you are an artist, maybe you go further. Log on to relaksmedia.com. In return, you get a free webpage and exposure to wider fan appreciation and contacts. Also optional radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Wednesday Witterer with jorgeshaft. The name of Shaft. Can't. It's Dominic Anglim,
Hello.
the Relaks radio presenter extraordinaire.
So they say.
That's what they absolutely say. You know what they also say?
What?
That this like, lockdowns and pandemics, they kind of suck, don't they?
Yeah, they're not the best thing in the world.
I'm actually thinking quite a lot about it, and this is the one I've not sort of got the sort of computer all out for, because I was just thinking, like, man, let's talk about some places that we miss going to.
Ah, yeah, like a holiday destination.
Because so full disclosure, like I'm somebody who travels. Yes,
I'm a traveler too.
yeah, I'm at the point now where I just have in my mind, it's like I'm gonna.
And you look up all traveler that goes there and goes, "Hey, I'm gonna jump on the bus."
Oh,
That's a shame. It's a good place
yeah,
to go to.
the big thing I visited, which was super cool, and
Birdwell played the main character in that, and I had another friend who also played a character in that film, and his name was Tony Rodriguez, who was a half Spanish, half Scottish actor and comedian.
Oh, it's always good when you hear like there's a comedian in a movie because
Yeah.
like it's probably going to be funny then.
Yeah, that was really good. Tony Rodriguez is a fantastic actor and a comedian, and he's really good in that fan film. And Rusty Birdwell is also brilliant in that film. I would recommend watching it. It's very short.
In order to, because it's so short, let's give the the good people of the world a chance to go and watch it.
Go and check it out.
Yeah,
Go and check it out.
Go and check it out, but don't just go and check it out. Go and check it out right now while I have these other people just chat for us because who cares what they have to say, right?
Let's hear what they have to say.
We'll catch you all again very, very soon. You're listening to Relaks Radio and the Wednesday Witterer with George Shaft, joined by myself today and my special guest, Dominic Anglim. See you soon.
Whoa, Relaks Radio. আপনি হয়তোবা জানেন না যে রেডিও অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্ট ইজ 4 times more powerful than any other media. রিল্যাক্স রেডিওতে যদি অ্যাডভার্টাইজ করতে চান তাহলে আমাদেরকে আজই যোগাযোগ করুন on 020-7474-9292 আমাদের সাথে অ্যাডভার্টাইজ করুন from £99 a month. Increase your business by advertising on Relax Radio.
It's time for a show on Relax Radio. It talks about me and you. It's time for a show on Relax Radio. It talks about me and you. So listen to us, 24 hours, and let the happiness come to you on Relax Radio. Tune in to Relax Radio.
It has been too long. No one has taken the initiative to know who you are and what you do. Well, Relax proudly presents Relax Media to unite and expose all media-related personalities under one umbrella. If you are an artist or maybe you're looking for one, look no further. Log on to www.relaksmedia.com. RELAKS media.com. In return, you get a free webpage and exposure to wider fan appreciation and contacts. Also, optional personal manager. Don't delay.
Relax Radio.
Hello, everyone. And also, hi, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday Witterer with George Shaft, hosted, of course, by myself, George Shaft, and now at this moment, George by myself, as in, just me. I would just like to give a huge shout out to Dominic Anglim for being my special guest for the first half of this show. I am of the belief that everybody should be a big fan of his, and entirely by coincidence, today we're going to be talking about fans. So, we've already established a couple things about fans, haven't we? We've established that the phenomenon is old. As far back as the 1890s, the power that fans was wielding, over their, the authors, the writers, was massive. We've already seen that it affects, everybody, a lot of people, really. Both Dominic and I have both been big fans of works, but then also are aware of people who have gone the extra mile to be the creators of fan works in various formats. We've also even established that that there are lots of examples of where fans get out there, do their sort of extra mile, and maybe create a bit of controversy there in the process. But first, let's go and take a step back and let's find out some of the basics about what exactly does it mean to be a fan and what exactly is a fandom. So I pulled up the Cambridge Dictionary, which is the Oxford Dictionary, except it's not Oxford, and it says that a fan is, quote, someone who admires and supports a person, sports team, or any other kind of thing. That doesn't really say, it just says etc. afterwards. Some examples that it uses includes more than 15,000 Lakers fans attended Saturday's game, and he is a great fan of country music. I think on some level, everyone is a fan of something, whether it's a person or a genre of music, or even just like an idea. And I don't think it really matters all that much what that genre, if you will, is. It proves that has been the fandom, as if you could call it that, around certain political figures. It's hard, like them all over them, it's hard to argue with the idea that Donald Trump, the former president of the United States, doesn't have fans. He absolutely does. He's got people who are devoted, absolutely loyal, and absolutely there for support him. It's also hard to argue with the power that it's got. Millions of people reading his fans overwhelmed on DuckDuckGo, and writers intimidated by fans. And you get story, article after article after article describing individuals or famous celebrities and various sort of actors just getting overwhelmed. Emma Willis, for they liked her husband's sort of little kind of nice gesture. It's huge. And I think this is something I really want to sort of divert towards and spend a little bit of time sort of pointing out and focusing before I really get into more of the sort of nitty gritty, which is, we talk a lot about like what, fans. We talk about the fact that, fans have got like this kind of, if you will, power. For example, we talk a lot about, and the initial thing that sparked my interest was the fact that so many people always think that fandoms are sort of cringy. They always go like, the worst thing about X video game is the fans. The biggest offender, in my experience on that one, was for a video game called Undertale. I still maintain that Undertale was one of the best games ever made. Made the 2015 game, released by one man, Toby Fox, received huge acclaim when it dropped, and millions of people rushed to go and play the game, and then got invested in the various characters, their interactions, their personalities, and created songs, fan fiction stories, little short films, and all sorts of wikis and other great works around it, including some Rule 34 things, unfortunately, and also including that get involved in this sort of thing. And most of it, I think, is cool. Not just cool, I'd even go so far as to. Here's what is the longest piece of fact? You always think like, oh, this book by Leo Tolstoy called War and Peace. Well, Leo Tolstoy's book is actually only 587,000 words. But the actual longest, according to this site, Space Emissary World Conquest, is at the time of 102,000. However, it's actually the longest of them all. The Diego Diaries, a Transformers is claims to have about